Hi guys, Happy New Year. We finally get through 2020, so give you guys a pat on the back. Today I'm going to compare two PRS model. The one on my right is made in Indonesia, PRS SE or Student Edition semi-hollow Zach Mayers guitar. And on my left, I'm holding a made in USA S2 model Mira. So a little big background. This model, they use 245S pickups. The reason is very simple. The scale for this guitar is 24.5, which a typical Les Paul guitar have. And this guitar, the scale is 25, and they come with I couldn't find a lot of information about this, but you just say the S2 pickups. And in case you guys know, S2 model is an upgrade from the SE model, but below the CE and core model. But it's made in USA with a little low cut parts. For example, these two pickups are usually coming from overseas, maybe like Korea, Indonesia, or China, and they send it to the US factory for assemble. However, it does have a locking tuner like many CE and core guitars have, which SE model, they do not come with any locking tuners. So the question right now is it worth it to spend extra, even though this is made in USA and much more affordable compared with a CE or core? But is it worth it to spend extra more money to get a S2 model than a SE model? So to do that, we're going to compare these two guitars. I'm going to start off with playing this SE model at the middle. I'm going to be playing clean first, and then going to play with distortion. Okay, let's hear how it sounds. And then the neck. The bridge. Okay, so now I'm going to switch guitars. A little bit more fun fact for the S2 model, especially the Mira series, it is supposed to mimic a Gibson SG model and also a Les Paul Junior kind of tone. So maybe later I will gonna give a demo between this model with my SG models. Anyway, once again, start at the middle. And also this guitar have split coil. Since the SC, or at least this model I have, doesn't have a split coil, so I'm not gonna compare. I'm not gonna play the split coil part of this guitar. So anyway, and also in case you know, this neck is much longer than many typical PRS model you have seen, and also much thinner, because it also trying to mimic a Gibson SG model, except that the good thing is this one doesn't have a head die like a typical SG you will see. Okay, anyway, going back. Focus and play. The neck. The bridge. Okay, so now I'm gonna switch back to the middle, playing distortion. I'm also gonna be listening to sustain. Turn down the, okay. Okay, the sustain is not that great, it's not that long. But anyway, neck. Okay. Bridge. Okay, so the sustain is not that great, but anyway, let's see how this one sounds first before concluding anything. Maybe it's worse, maybe it's better, I don't know. But from what I heard, the PRS, they don't have that good sustain as a Gibson. That's what I heard from people. Well, of course, I don't know that, if that's true or not. Oh yeah, starting it back to middle. It seems that the sustain here is much more longer anyway. Okay, the neck. Oh yeah, the sustain for this guitar is much bit better. finally, bridge. Okay, so this is what the comparison sounds. In my opinion, I think the pickup for the SE is so much better than the S2. I think the S2, it kind of sounds bland. It's not as excited as you give as much a kick as these pickups for the SE. Of course, these two guitars have they have different scale and everything, so it makes sense to some difference. But for a pickup, like I mean, if you're gonna spend so much more money on a made in US model, yet you have a stock pickup that doesn't sound as great, I mean, then you're gonna end up probably gonna spend more to replace the pickups. I mean, for SE model, it makes sense because you kind of expect like a Squire, you wouldn't expect the pickups are great, so you're gonna buy a cheap one and then spend extra money on better pickups. So it makes sense. However, for the SE model, the pickup sounds better than the S2 model. So is it really worth it to buy a made in USA one? I mean, PRS is different than Gibson. I mean, Gibson, as long as you don't mark anything, the value still there. But for a PRS, no matter new core, whatever you by the time you sell it used, it's always like less than like 30 or 40% from its original retail prices. So why would you want to spend extra for a made in US model when the pickup doesn't sound as great and you end up going to spend more money on it? I mean, if that's so, why don't I just save up more to buy a CE or even a core, So, but then again, though, CE model doesn't have a model or the neck profile that is very similar to a Gibson SG. So you kind of need to kind of look at the perspective or try out what kind of guitar you want to use or play. I mean, this guitar, the S2 model, is not bad, but I'm a little bit kind of disappointed at the pickups because first of all, the sustain is not that great compared to a SE model, and but other than that, I mean, you kind of get what you pay for. So it's really depend on your perspective of how you preference. However, I must say though, this guitar is amazing. It really sounds as good or even better than a typical LP from Epiphone, and maybe even better than the low-end Gibson models that they made the past few years. So I personally prefer this one than this one in this demo. But no matter what, highly recommend you guys to try a guitar first before you buy it. And I think at least one thing is that though, if you ever come across a Zach Mayers model, I'm not sure if they make any more of this model the past few years, but if you do get one, because I think this is a very worthwhile guitar. And for the Mira one, I think they start or discontinued the S2 Mira model since 2017. However, I heard that they made the SE Mira model last year. However, I haven't come across with any of those models in my guitar shop or even in the US market. So hopefully, I'm not gonna say Mira are bad, but if I ever come across a SE Mira model, I would definitely gonna get one and trying to make a video to see which one sounds better. Anyway, I hope you guys find this video helpful, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.